You know the feeling. You are sitting in a room full of people who are laughing at a joke you don't find funny, yet your facial muscles twitch into the perfect, practiced shape of a smile. You offer a laugh that resonates just enough to blend in, a calculated frequency designed to be unnoticeable. You are not really there. You are a ghost inhabiting a mannequin, carefully curated to be palatable, digestible, and utterly safe. You have become so adept at the art of molding yourself into the reflection of what others desire that you have forgotten what it feels like to hold a shape of your own. Every interaction is a performance, every conversation a tactical negotiation to ensure that nobody catches a glimpse of the jagged, messy, terrified creature hiding beneath the veneer. You are the perfect companion, the ideal employee, the charming acquaintance, but when you look in the mirror, the person staring back feels like a stranger you've been tasked to maintain for a lifetime. The exhaustion is not physical, it is an existential fatigue, a weight that presses down on your lungs because you are constantly holding your breath, waiting for the moment you can finally be alone, only to find that even in solitude, you are still performing for the ghost of an audience. The mornings are the hardest, before the masks are applied. You stare at your reflection, tracing the lines of a face that has been contorted into so many expressions of approval that it has lost its default setting. You remember a time, long ago, when you spoke without vetting your words for their impact on the listener's ego. Back then, you didn't measure the pauses in a conversation to see if you were being too much, or not enough. But the fear of rejection is a slow-acting poison. It doesn't kill you, it just strips away the parts of you that are considered inconvenient or unlikable. It started small, a swallowed opinion here, a forced agreement there. You realized early on that if you mirrored the room, you would be safe. If you became the version of yourself that they needed, the threat of being cast aside, of being found lacking, would vanish. And so, you started carving pieces out of yourself. You shaved down your sharp edges, dulled your intensity, and muted your colors until you became a silhouette, a shadow that moved precisely as the light of others dictated. You are an expert at reading the micro-expressions of everyone you meet, adjusting your tone and posture like a barometer detecting a storm. If they want grace, you are graceful. If they want stoicism, you are a stone. But inside, there is a frantic, echoing void. There is a specific kind of loneliness that comes from being perfectly understood by everyone, yet known by no one. You navigate your relationships like a sailor navigating a minefield, constantly scanning for the signals that might lead to an explosion of disapproval. When a friend asks what you want to do, your default response is whatever you want, because expressing a preference feels like a dangerous risk. What if your desire doesn't align with theirs? What if your truth makes them retreat? So, you fold yourself inward, making your needs smaller, quieter, until they are almost non-existent. You have become an architect of your own invisibility. You fill the rooms you enter with a version of yourself that is safe, harmless, and entirely replaceable. You watch others, people who move through the world with messy, loud, unapologetic authenticity, and you feel a strange, hollow envy. They can afford to be disliked. They can afford to have boundaries that aren't negotiable. You, however, believe that you are a delicate instrument that must remain in tune with everyone else's vibration, or else you will simply cease to exist. You spend hours overthinking the aftermath of a simple interaction. Did I smile too much? Was my response too dry? Did they see through the act? The replay loop in your mind is relentless, a relentless critique of a performance that no one else even noticed. You are terrified that if you drop the act, if you stop the meticulous editing of your soul, you will be met with nothing but a cold, dismissive silence. You think that being needed is the same as being loved, so you make yourself indispensable. You anticipate the needs of those around you so they never have to ask, ensuring your presence is a smooth, frictionless experience. But the cost is your own autonomy. You are drowning in the shallows, terrified of the depth of your own inner life. The irony, which you are only beginning to grasp, is that the more you work to be perfect for them, the more you retreat from yourself. You have spent so long hiding your shadows that you have forgotten that light cannot exist without them. You are a masterpiece of camouflage, and you are starving to death inside the suit you built to survive. The realization doesn't arrive as an epiphany or a sudden spark of insight. It comes as a quiet, heavy settling in your stomach, a recognition that the person you are today is a stranger to the person you were meant to be. There is no grand antagonist in this story, there is only the quiet, suffocating pressure of a life lived in fear of being seen for who you truly are. You realize that you have been holding a mirror up to the world, showing people their own reflection while hiding your own face behind it. The fear of being rejected has led you to reject yourself, which is a far more permanent and devastating severance. You have spent years building walls, and now you have forgotten how to knock them down. You are not a person anymore, you are a service, a role, a set of expectations fulfilled. And as you sit here, in the dim light of your own quiet room, you look down at your hands and wonder whose they are. You are the perfect actor, but the stage has become a cage, and the audience you have been performing for left a long time ago. You are finally alone, and the most frightening thing you have ever faced is the silence of the person sitting across from you in the glass. A mirror to everyone, a ghost to myself. The perfect mask, the lonely cage.